So today I want to, excuse me. Yes. Yeah, hi. Thing is that a few months ago you asked Facebook and Tumblr for some Q&A questions and you never answered them. You're right, I have been putting this off for too long. I really should be doing my Q&A and I will be doing that right now. How about the first question? Well, that's what I was hoping you would say. First question is, how did you first notice you had Tourette's? Well, when I first noticed my Tourette's, I didn't know it was Tourette's. It was this tick where I had to do this, like, constantly and all day, except I had to crack my neck. And I didn't know it was Tourette's. I didn't know it was something that I should go to the hospital for. I didn't know it was something that I should be diagnosed for. I thought it was just me being weird. And that would start and stop and start and stop, like, for a few months, and then it would let me go for a while, and then it would do again for a few months or a few weeks. And I would only have that. So it wasn't Tourette's because it was only a movement and there was no noise. Only in my adulthood did I start having full-blown Tourette's, where I would start making noises. I started with noises. I started then echoing. I echoed something that I was thinking. So I ended up saying it aloud. Then I started swearing. I started all these kind of things. That's how it kind of started. But I didn't have full-blown Tourette's until I was an adult. I had tics when I was a teenager. How do you know if you have Tourette's or the early symptoms? Tourette's, you have to have at least two motor tics and at least one vocal tic. It looks like I'm fingering. No, that wasn't. And at least one vocal tic in order for it to be Tourette's, and it has to be for at least a certain period of time, like about a year, because they have to know whether it's transient tics, which means that it would stop. So if it's been at least a year, then it's an indicator that it's there to stay. Why did you start cutting yourself? I started cutting myself, well, I started hurting myself at a very young age, more like 5 or 6 years old. With blunt objects, not things that would leave scars. But cutting myself, I didn't start until I was an adult, which I don't give my age, so I'm not giving any indicator of how old I was, but I was an adult when I started cutting myself. Why did I start cutting? Was because of post-traumatic stress. I felt like I had someone at my neck. I felt like there was someone there. I felt like I was living something that I wasn't still living, that was from the past, and I was trying to get it off my skin. So I started to cut myself in order to distract myself from that feeling. So I cut as an opposing sensation. Was it hard going over a year without self-harm? It was hard and it wasn't hard. There were periods where it was really, really, really hard, and there were other periods where, well, it was just kind of easy. It just sort of flew by, and I didn't really feel like cutting. So I would kind of alternate between the two, and so I guess it was hard because of the moments where it was really hard to get through it, but I had these goals for the future that I was really, really holding on to. And how does it feel to hit that year mark? Feels really good. I made a video about it, about my self-harm anniversary, and it feels really good. You can tell in the video I am elated. And does it get easier over time? As for me, no. Only in the sense that when it comes back, it's really strong, but when I don't feel it, I don't feel it. But when I feel like cutting, it is really, 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 really strong, and it doesn't feel any easier. But as to whether maybe like 10 years down the line, if I were to stop cutting for 10 years, would it have gotten easier? I don't know at this juncture. Me and my friends were discussing this, and we wanted to know your take. When do you personally think that bad habits become a problem? Example, binging, purging, calorie counting, overeating, etc. It's a problem the moment it happens. It's a problem right away. It's a problem because it's gotten into your mind. It's an idea you had that you think that you can do this to make things better. And that idea can grow and grow, and you might nurture it by doing it again and thinking that it helps, and it grows and grows. And so the moment you binge or purge even once, it is a problem. It is something that needs to be taken care of, and it is something that needs to be addressed the moment you start. Because the earlier you get help, the more of a chance that you have of avoiding the freaking hell that is an eating disorder. It is the moment you start. Mac or PC? Is that even a question? Mac all the way. Want kids? I want kids, but I don't want my own kids. I want to foster kids. I want to adopt kids. I don't want to actually have my own kids, but I want kids. Which is a goal that can only be accomplished if I get better with my Tourette's and my mental health and all that. So that's the goal I have. Will you marry me? Darling, it's so romantic. But you know what? I've actually gotten several proposals. I'm gonna have to, look them all over and see which one qualifies. No, I am not looking to get married right now, but thank you for the offer. How are you doing at the moment? Kind of shitty and kind of not. I'm getting better. I was suicidal a bit ago. The hospital turned me away, and so my family took me in, and friends, and I was taking turns being at their homes. And it was all because of the Tourette's, because of how bad the tic attacks are. If you don't know what the tic attacks are, I made a video about it, how bad it gets, or something like that. Tourette's tic attacks. I made a video on that, and that was what my life was pretty much almost daily or multiple times a day, and it was extremely hard to feel like anything but useless. So, but now they upped my meds, which makes me sleep all the time, and I'm feeling less suicidal, more urgy to self-harm, which is not good, obviously, but things are moving in a positive direction. I'm gonna read this one off because it's a little bit longer. So I believe that before people work in a mental facility or even become a therapist, that they should have experience with some mental illness, whether personal or with a loved one. I am giving back to psychology, and I am in school right now so I can pursue a career in psych, so my patients' clients feel comfortable with me as they know I have been where they are. Have you ever considered this as a career for yourself? But I do think that it offers something unique for the person to have been able to have been there themselves. And whether I would want to do that, hell yes. I would love to be a mental health counselor. I would love to be. Unfortunately, my health right now doesn't permit it. But if ever it does, and I have the money to actually get into school, then I would love to do so. What is your most cherished memory and why? My most cherished memory, oh my goodness, I don't know, I have a lot. You know what makes me think, I don't think I have a most cherished memory. I think I have a lot of cherished memories. One of them that comes to mind right now is when my baby brother came home from the hospital, and they had me sit on the couch so that I could hold him, and I was sitting on the couch. I was 4 years old. And they put me in put him in my arms, and I got to hold him, and he had that new baby smell, and I felt it smelled kind of funny, not like poopy diaper funny, but just new baby smell funny, and it was just a very special moment for me. And every moment after that, growing up with that baby boy, I still call him baby boy, or my siblings, or my mother, or my friends, everything is this. I have a lot of cherished moments. I know that I say a lot of negative things on this channel about what things that I go through, but I have a lot of cherished moments that I am grateful for. What do you look forward to in the future? I look forward to looking forward to things. I I want to be more positive. I want to feel more positive because I don't feel positive at the moment, and I look forward to feeling positive. Where would you most like to visit in the world? Oh man, do I have to pick just one place? I want to go to Jerusalem. I wanted to go to Egypt. Well, actually, I wanted to go to Egypt until I saw this news story about the woman getting attacked. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to France. I want to go. I want to go everywhere. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to. I want to go everywhere. 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 What would be your magical power? My magical power. Okay, I don't know. Okay, this is the hard one. Okay, maybe invisibility, but no, not invisibility. Because no, I want to read people's thoughts. I know that's very intrusive and wrong, but I want to read people's thoughts, and that would be my superpower. I will read people's thoughts because I'm very insecure and I like to know what people are thinking, or thinking or not thinking or anything like that. So I would totally want to read people's minds. Okay. What is your favorite song? What about movie? Cannot compute. Overload, overload. So many songs. I Don't Want to Be Me by Amanda Clemens. Creep by Korn. The Gift by, what was it, Seether or 3 Days Grace? Sorry. Movie. Serenity. I think Serenity. Serenity, oh my goodness, yes. I'm yelling. It's because it's very exciting. Serenity is the freaking bomb. You need to watch the Serenity. No wait, I also like, and there's a lot of movies, but Serenity is really good. Is that your natural hair color? This is not my natural hair color, although it used to be until I was about 16, and then it started to get progressively darker. And shortly after that, I started dyeing it so that it would be the color that it used to be. Like, my hair really was this color for almost my entire life naturally, but now it is not. Now it is kind of a light brown. I would like to know how you told your family, and would you ever do a meetup? I told my mom when she was walking the dog. I took the opportunity, she was walking the dog. I said, I'm going out with you, Mom. And I kind of just dumped it on her. I said, you know, I wasn't in the hospital just for anxiety, Mom. I was there because I'm a cutter. And that's how I told her. I told my sister, actually, my sister guessed. Because I told her I was in the hospital for anxiety, and she guessed that I was also cutting, and she asked me if I was. My older brother, we were working together at an old age home cleaning rooms, and I told him, and he said, you know, like in that magazine, and I said yes. He says okay, and that was it. Like, that was easy. And then I guess the word sort of spread. I didn't really have to tell people because they were telling each other. As for the meetups, I've actually done several so far. I've done Newcastle, Boston, New York, and I'm thinking of doing one in Montreal. Do you feel like you've benefited in some way with your experiences with mental health? I have benefited because if I hadn't have gone through what I've gone through with my mental health, I wouldn't be the person that I am today, and I don't know what that person would be, which kind of scares me. Like, who would I be if I wouldn't have gone through the things that I've gone through? Who would I be today? And I don't know if that would be a good person or just a person that's less understanding, less compassionate. I like the way that I've turned out. I don't like what I've had to endure. Always interested in people's love life. Especially what role self-harm or OCD plays in your romantic relationship. Romantic relationships with OCD and self-harm and eating disorders. You know, that's kind of hard because it depends on the person. Some people that I've dated have been extremely extremely supportive. and surprisingly so, and others almost dumped me because of it, and others actually have dumped me because of it, and so it's kind of a mixture of how that goes exactly. Maybe I'll make a video on this because there's too much to really say for a Q&A video. Would love to know if you are still not self-harming. How long has it been? The last time I self-harmed was last week. I'm really sorry, guys. It was last week. I made it another 5 months. I made it 5 months, and before that I made it a year and 8 months. How old were you when you were diagnosed with OCD? OCD, I diagnosed myself when I was around 12. I'd been experiencing symptoms for years, and but an actual doctor's diagnosis wasn't until adulthood, which I actually don't know exactly what age. I think it was around 20 when I was actually diagnosed, like a real diagnosis. Ideas on how to get rid of sharps. I already know about throwing out and flushing, but I wanted to get some of your ideas. No. Do not flush your sharps. You do not know what will happen to them as they swish and swoosh down there. Throwing them out is better, or you can give them to your friend or your therapist who can keep them for themselves, or not to use, obviously. That sounded weird. Who can keep them for you instead, and possibly even throw them away for you. But when you throw away your sharps, don't just toss them in the garbage, because that just rips open the sides of the bag. Put them in a container. Put it in a container and then throw it out. Do not just throw away the sharp. How to let your parents know that you want to see a talk therapist. Just tell them that you are going through something really hard and that you are not able to make it quite on your own, and that you need that little bit of extra support, and that maybe if, depending on how brave you are, you could talk about what's going on in your life or not, but just really emphasize the importance of it because of what you're going through. What you should do if you see someone's scars in public. What do you do, if anything? And ways to know that you care and that you have experienced the same thing. That's a really tricky one, because sometimes people don't want you in their business, and sometimes people are like, well, thank goodness, you know, I have this kind of a support, and it was kind of cool that this person approached me and showed me the support that they went through it. And sometimes they can react kind of badly, like, hey, just because I self-harm doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that we're brothers, or doesn't mean we're sisters, or doesn't mean, you know, we're in the cause or together or anything. It just means that we both have scars, so leave me alone. So it's kind of really hard to know how people will react. That's a tough one, so I really don't know how to answer that, because it differs between person to person. Can you share more alternatives in the Q&A? Like, what works best for you? All my alternatives for self-harm or eating disorders are listed in a playlist on my channel page. And if I ever have more alternatives, I will put them up as an individual video, because I would prefer if the alternative had its own video and that I could put it in that playlist. So right now I don't have anything new to offer, but if ever I do, I will add them to that playlist, and they are on my channel. That was the last question, so I don't know how long this video is gonna last, possibly forever and ever. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for sending in these questions, Tumblr and Facebook. And thank you for your patience, because it took me a really long time before I made this video. So thank you so much, guys, for caring enough to send in the questions, and for watching my video. Blah blah blah, goodbye. Love you guys, bye.